We're gonna tell the full story of Uchiha Obito, and by the end, there's gonna be some Kishimoto's behind the scene. But before we start this amazing story, I wanna ask you guys to help us get the first 100 subscribers. Be part of this nice group of people that loves anime, manga, and movies. We are super close to 100, and in every week, we're gonna shout out 2 recent ones, just to thank you. So thank you Samantha and Sad Boy. Drink some water, grab some snack, and let's watch together. Uchiha Obito was a member of Konoha. He was believed to have died during the Third Shinobi War, his only legacy being the Sharingan he gave to his rival, Atake Kakashi. In reality, Obito was saved from death and trained by Madara, but the tragic event of the war on Obito broke his fate on this world, and he took Madara's plan to create an ideal world. Coming back under the name of Tobi and Uchiha Madara himself, Obito took control of the Akatsuki, using them as means to advance his plans, eventually going public and starting the Fourth Shinobi War. However, towards the war's conclusion, Obito had a change of heart and sacrificed his life to save the same world he sought to replace. Obito grew up not knowing who his parents were. In the anime, he was left in the care of his grandmother. Feeling alone in the world, Obito dreamed of becoming Hokage so that the people of the village would acknowledge his existence. He got into the academy to help him achieve that goal. There he developed a one-side rivalry with Kakashi. The cool kid with natural talent and popularity made him jealous. He also became a close friend of Nohara Rin, whom he eventually fell in love with. After finally graduating some years later, Obito and Kakashi were placed on a team under the leadership of Namikaze Minato. In the anime, as a final qualifying test, Minato gave the team a bell test to test their cooperation skills. Obito could not accomplish this on his own, but joining forces with Rin and Kakashi, they succeed in taking the bells, teaching Obito the value of teamwork. The team later participated in the tuning exams, where Obito was defeated in the third round in a one-on-one match with Maito Gai. Kakashi would go to defeat Gai in the subsequent match, promoting him to tuning and impressing Rin. Craving Rin's attention, Obito trained relentlessly, eventually rising to the rank of tuning himself. His excitement was short-lived as Kakashi soon afterwards becomes a Jonin, once again earning Rin's praise and Obito's resentment. During the Third Shinobi War, Kakashi was placed in charge of the team for a mission to destroy the Kanabi Bridge that would block Iwagakure from using Kusakaguri as a relief point. Before beginning the mission, Minato and Rin gave gifts to Kakashi to celebrate his promotion to Jonin. Obito played like he forgot. Minato was soon called for the front line, leaving the team to complete the mission alone under Kakashi command. The three were discovered by Yuanin along the way, and Rin was captured. Kakashi really defended the idea to leave her, believing it was more important to finish the mission before concerning themselves with her safety. Obito became enraged at this idea and insisted on the rescue. When Kakashi refused, Obito laughed, remarking that Kakashi was worse than trash for abandoning his friends. Obito located the cave that Yuanin were using as a hideout, but was found by a camouflage Taiseki before he could launch a rescue. Kakashi, moved by the Obito's words, arrived in time to save him from Taiseki's attack, but lost his left eye in the process. From his desire to help Kakashi, Obito awakened his Sharingan, allowing him to see through Taiseki's camouflage and kill him. Obito and Kakashi got into the cave and released Rin. Her capital, Kako, caused the cave to collapse around them, and as the team ran for the exit, Kakashi was hit in the blind spot and fell. When Obito noticed that Kakashi was about to be hit by a falling boulder, Obito pushed him out of the way and became trapped in his place, showing how he really lived the things he said before to Kakashi. With the right side of his body crushed and no way to free himself, Obito accepted his fate and made an offering to give Kakashi his life Sharingan as an apology for not getting him a present earlier. Rin performed the transplant, and once the procedure was finished, Kakashi used his new Sharingan to kill Kako. Iwa reinforcement quickly began to further compress the rubble, forcing Kakashi and Rin to leave Obito behind. As the rocks tightened around him, Obito reflected that he had finally started to get along with Kakashi, and he couldn't confess to Rin that he loved her. Kakashi and Rin were rescued by Minato, and when they returned at Konoha, Obito's name was engraved on the village memorial stone, like a war hero he became. Obito was rescued by the White Jetsu on the orders from an elderly Madara. He brought Obito to Mountain's graveyard and tended to his injuries, removing those body parts too damaged to be healed and replacing them with limbs cultivated from the cells of Hashirama Senju. Despite his injuries, Obito's right Sharingan has survived intact. Although frightened by Madara, Obito felt like he owed him for saving his life and was willing to render any assistance he could, an offer Madara made clear he would need later. Obito became used to his replacement limbs and the abilities they granted him. All the while, Madara would tell Obito about the harsh realities of the world and his plans to save it, which the young Uchiha disregarded. During the end of the resting process, White Jetsu told Obito that Kakashi and Rin were about to be killed by the Kiragaguri ninjas. Obito was insisted on helping them, which Guruguru offered to help with by casing Obito with his body. Before leaving, Obito thanked Madara for all his help but said he wouldn't be returning. Madara made clear his convictions that Obito will return to him. Guruguru directed Obito to Rin and Kakashi's location, along the way informing him of Minato's absence. When they arrived, they found Rin and Kakashi surrounded by Kirin and Kakashi opening his heart with his Chidori. Rin's death caused each of the Sharingan to evolve into Mangekyou Sharingan, a process that also caused Kakashi to pass out since that was too much for a non-Uchiha. Really pissed by what he saw, Obito used a combination of his Mangekyou Sharingan's Kamui and the wood release of Guruguru's body to slaughter the Kirakaguri ninja. When all of them were dead, only then Obito cradled Rin's lifeless body, ignoring the unconscious Kakashi. Obito later returned to the mountain's graveyard, vowing to do anything for Madara if he could bring him together with Rin and Kakashi. Madara explained Tsukinome for him, which would replace the world of violence and death with one where nobody ever needed to die, because they would be in a perfect world inside their heads, rejected by his genjutsu. Obito was intrigued, determined to create a reality where he, Rin, and Kakashi could exist alongside each other. Madara gave all his knowledge and plans to Obito, taught him about abilities he would need moving forward, and trusted him with his possessions, and manifested Black Zetsu to be his guide. Having left almost all that he had to Obito, Madara disconnected himself from the Geto Mazo that was keeping him alive and told Obito that until his revival, he was to act as Uchiha Madara. Using Madara's name and concealing his identity, Obito moved in the shadows of the ninja world to acquire the remaining pieces of Tsukinome. Obito and Zetsu went to Amagakure and approached the fledgling Akatsuki with an offer to support in creating the world of peace they envisioned, like sponsoring them, I don't know. For real, he only needed Nagato, the kid Madara had implanted his Rinnegan years before, and he would be essential in the final stage of the Tsukinome. While Obito was almost able to convince Nagato, the Akatsuki leader Yahiko declined. Obito claims he eventually agreed, without informing Akatsuki's other members. In the anime, Obito learned a conspiracy between Hanzo and Danzo to eliminate Yahiko, intercept and kill the members of Akatsuki that tried to rescue Yahiko, and once Yahiko was dead, encourage Nagato in a new direction for the organization, one focusing on crying the Bijus. While Nagato became the Akatsuki leader and recruited powerful Missinin for the cause, Obito took the allies of Tobi and changed his personality around members to conceal his identity. In Kirakakure, Obito at some point took control of the fourth Mizukage, Yagura, in effect making him the Mizukage. After Kizami became resentful of the world, Obito, acting as Madara, revealed himself to Kizami and promised to help him make a word of truth. Kizami became his loyal servant, one of the few Kirin to knowingly work for him. During this time, Obito discovered the circumstances of Rin's death. The Kiri had sealed the Senbei into her to make her a time bomb that would destroy Konoha. At Rin's insistence, Kakashi killed her to prevent this from happening. Obito's manipulation of the Mizukage was eventually discovered by Ao, and he was forced to abandon. 12 years before the start of the series, Obito went to Rin's grave in Konoha. Kakashi was already there when he arrived, and Obito, watching secretly, heard him confide to Rin's grave that Minato's wife, Kushina, would soon be giving birth, and that the seal keeping the Nine Tails contained within her would weaken during childbirth. Obito tracked her down on the night of October 10. He killed her Embo bodyguards, took her newborn son, Naruto, hostage to prevent Minato from interfering. Minato was able to take Naruto from him, which distracted him long enough for Obito to escape with Kushina. He extracted the Kyuubi from her body, placed it under his control with his Sharingan, and ordered to destroy the village. That was the scene shown in the very first episode, and by now we are in the anime's timeline. Minato soon arrived to help the village defense. Before Minato could do much or even tell anyone what happened, Obito located him and tried to use Kamui to send him away and prevent further interference. Minato was able to escape with his Flying Thunder God technique, but Obito pursued him. Minato did not recognize Obito as they fought, instead suspecting he was Uchiha Madara. He initially shrugged to successfully strike Obito, but after several failed attacks, Minato finally hit him with a Hazengan and branded him with the Flying Thunder God seal, allowing him to teleport to Obito whenever he wanted. He then used a contract seal on Obito to release the Kyuubi from his control. Wounded and deprived of his best weapon, Obito fled. Minato gave his life to save the village by sealing the Kyuubi into his son, and thus never had the chance to inform anyone of Obito's involvement. Konoha leadership suspected Uchiha's involvement on the Biju attack, and to that end placed all members of the clan under heavy scrutiny. Years later, the Uchiha, as a result of the mistreatment, began plotting a coup d'etat. Obito returned to the village to make things worse, but was discovered by Itachi. Believing Obito was Madara, Itachi asked for his help in wiping out the clan, offering revenge against them for what they did to Madara decades before in exchange for Obito's agreement to spare the village. Obito accepted and offered Itachi a position at Akatsuki. In the anime, during the night of the massacre, he slaughtered the Konoha military police forcemen and killed Izumi. Afterwards, he collected several Uchiha corpses in order to extract a Sharingan for his use, and following the attack, he cut his hair and brought Itachi into his organization. By then, he kept quiet. He was acting more like Tobi than Obito, playing this full part while manipulating Akatsuki from behind. After Sasori's death, he took the Akatsuki member ring for himself and started to act like a member now, being more upfront on the bijus collecting. First one we see him going to collect is Sanbi, that now is in the ocean. In the anime, it was part of a big ass filler, but we saw him acting more like this Dumby, and even Deidara was fooled. But by the time of the fourth biju, yes, they had to do one after one, no number jumping, they got the news of Orochimaru's being killed by Sasuke, and Deidara then decides to kill Sasuke, since he wants to kill Orochimaru himself. And Obito goes with him, and here I can see he trying to know more about Itachi's brother. But in this fight, Deidara flipped and tried to kill everyone. Obito was dead for what everybody knew. And now he got back to the backstage again, because things were getting close to ending. Got close to Sasuke telling him the Itachi's real story, and got into this Palpatine-Luke relationship. He made Sasuke getting Akatsuki and made him go after Hashibi. And while that happened, he asked Konan and Nagato to go to Konoha and get Naruto. Tobi met with Kisame, consoling him over Itachi's death and revealing his face, allowing Kisame to recognize him as the former Mizukage. Tobi also met with Jetsu, and they discussed how much easier their plans would be now that Itachi was dead. Jetsu questioned Akatsuki's recent actions, specifically the loss of 5 members, but Tobi insisted that it had all been worth to gain Sasuke loyalty. Taka later delivered the 8-tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee to Tobi, and the remaining members of the Akatsuki began the sealing process, but quickly found that it was only one of the 8-tails tentacles disguised as Bee. Tobi was irritated that Sasuke failed in his mission, but still sealed the tentacle into the Gedomazo, so they would have at least a fragment of the Beast chakra. Jetsu reported to Tobi the outcome of Pain's mission to capture Naruto. Although Konoha has been destroyed, Naruto was not captured. What's more, Pain gave his life to perform the Samsara and revive the villager he killed. Upset by more setbacks, Tobi assigns Kisame to capture Bee, tracks down Sasuke and Taka on their way to attack Konoha. He informs that they are too late since the village is already gone, and adds that they still owe Akatsuki for the failure to catch the 8-tails. While they are speaking, Jetsu reports that Danzo is to be the next Hokage and that he will be attending the Cage Summit in the Land of Iron. Tobi sees a compromise. Danzo was a conspirator in the Uchiha assassination, and if Sasuke were to kill him during the Cage Summit, that would serve Tobi's plan. Sasuke agreed to the plan and was guided to the Land of Iron by Jetsu. Once he and Taka get there, however, Tobi instructs Jetsu to reveal their presence to the assembled Kage. While Taka is placed against the Kage's combined might, Tobi meets with Naruto in an effort to understand Nagato's change of heart. Kakashi and Yamato confront him, but Tobi doesn't want to fight, instead telling them about the Sage of Six Paths, the truth of the Uchiha clan, and Sasuke's descent into darkness. They doubt, but he wasn't concerned and leaves. As Sasuke is about to be killed by the Kage, Tobi rescues him. He sends Sasuke away, sending Karin with him so she can heal his injuries. Though disappointment that Sasuke was not more of a match for the Kage, Tobi is nevertheless happy by the development of a Sasuke Mangekyou Sharingan. Telling the Kage that he's Uchiha Madara, he explains the Eye of the Moon plan, and concludes by asking for their support by giving him Killer Bee and Naruto. The Kage refused, so Tobi declares war on them all before disappearing. Tobi intercepts Danzo while he's fleeing the summit. He's attacked by Danzo bodyguards Fu and Torune, but other than the loss of an arm to Torune's Hinkaichu, Tobi easily disposed of both. With Danzo alone, Tobi teleports Sasuke and Karin to their location to fulfill his promise of letting Sasuke kill him. Tobi observes the battle and is glad when Sasuke is finally able to fully develop Susanoo. When Sasuke emerged victorious, Tobi approaches the dying Danzo to take Chisui's eye, which was implanted in Danzo's right eye socket. Danzo activates the reverse force symbol sealing in an attempt to take Tobi and Sasuke with him, but they are able to get out of the range in time. Tobi then collects Danzo's body and suggests that Sasuke take some time to rest. Once back at the mountain's graveyard, Tobi restores Sasuke's vision by implanting him in Itachi's eyes, then leaves him to recover. As he's leaving the mountain graveyard, Tobi is confronted by Kabuto, who asks to ally with Tobi in the coming war. Tobi declines and attacks him, prompting Kabuto to use the Edo Tensei to revive 5 deceased members of Akatsuki: Sasori, Deidara, Itachi, Nagato, and Kakuzu. Kabuto offers them as pawns to be used in the battlefield, and all he asks in return is to be given Sasuke. Tobi once again declines, and with that Kabuto responds by reviving Madara. Horrified that Kabuto knows that Madara is actually dead, Tobi is forced to accept an alliance, but sets the condition that Sasuke will not be turned over until after the war. Kabuto agrees and sends the summons away. Tobi escorts Kabuto into his hideout so he can access his battle strength and reformulate his plans of war. Tobi later infiltrates Amagakure to acquire Nagato's corpse. He is immediately confronted by Konan. Tobi tries to buy back her cooperation by informing her of his involvement in Yahiko's creation of Akatsuki, but she doesn't believe him. Konan turns into paper and engulfs Tobi, hoping to use the exploding tags mingle with her paper in order to sacrifice herself and kill him. Tobi realizes what she's up to in time and warps the explosion away, saving both of their lives, but loses his right arm. Konan tries another attack, detonating a constant series of 600 billion paper explosives. The explosions go on for a period of 10 minutes, longer than Tobi can remain intangible for. He therefore uses his left Sharingan to perform Izanagi to survive the attack. Unaware of this, and thinking he's dead, Konan lowers her guard, allowing Tobi to sneak up behind her and stab her. He asks what is about Naruto that could have caused her and Nagato to betray him in the way they did, to which she responds that Naruto is the light that will build a bridge to peace. Tobi avows himself as the darkness that crushes Naruto's light and places her under Genjutsu to extract the location of Nagato's body before he kills her. When Tobi finds Nagato's body, he sees Nagato smiling at him, which he interprets as continued betrayal. He shuts Nagato's eyes before teleporting the body away. After replacing his left Sharingan with the one Nagato's Rinnegan, Tobi receives a report from Kisame about the location of Naruto and Killer Bee. Kabuto offers to capture them for him as a sign of good faith. He ultimately fails, but does manage to bring back Yamato, who he can use to strengthen the White Zetsu army. Tobi finds this is a fair alternative. When preparations are complete, the thousands of Zetsu and many Kabuto's reincarnated ninjas mobilize, initiating the Fourth Shinobi War. In the confusion, Kabuto also captures Anko outside the mountain's graveyard. Tobi suspects that Kabuto led her to the hideout, believes Kabuto plans to have Akatsuki and the allied shinobi forces destroy each other. Although confident that this will not happen, Tobi orders Kabuto to kill Anko. Kabuto refuses on the grounds that he can use Anko to make the Impure World reincarnation stronger, something that is in Tobi's best interest. With things moving towards the conclusion, Tobi goes to the location of the first division where he summons Gedomazo. While the statue decimates the division, Tobi seeks out the Benihazago and the Kohaku no Johei, which contains the reincarnated Gold and Silver brothers. Darui and Shikamaru conclude that he plans to make use of the brothers' Nine Tails chakra as part of his plans and try to stop him. He compliments them on guessing his intention and has the statue attack them while he escapes with 2 items. As dawn breaks on the second day of the war, Tobi stands behind his own 6 Path of Pain, composed from the reincarnated Jinchuriki. Tobi leads the 6 paths towards Killer Bee and Naruto headbutts Tobi as soon as they meet, to which Tobi only responds by pointing out that Naruto could even scratch his mask. Naruto notices his new Rinnegan and remarks that it's the same as the other Madaras. Realizing that Kabuto has revealed his secret, Tobi quietly curses Kabuto before shedding his Madara intensity, embracing the role of nobody. Tobi has his 6 path engage Naruto in a transformed Killer Bee. Bee levels the area in an attempt to force Tobi away while he seals the 6 Jinchuriki, which Tobi counters by having the Jinchurikis enter the version 2 forms. As the Jinchuriki overwhelm Naruto and Bee, Tobi takes advantage of Naruto's distraction and nearly capture him, only to be paired by Maitogai and Kakashi. He then forces the 4 Tails and 6 Tails to fully transform in an attempt to stack the odds in his favor. The 4 Tails is able to swallow Naruto, leading Tobi to believe that Naruto is out of commission. Instead, the 4 Tails manage to communicate with Naruto, how Tobi is controlling it. Naruto escapes from his mouth, locates the chakra receiver embedded in the 4 Tails flesh and removes it. With the 4 Tail free, Tobi quickly summons the Gedomazo to reseal the beast. He has the remaining Jinchurikis transform into their respective tail beasts to try and finally bring the situation under his control. Despite the overwhelming power of the 5 tail beasts, Naruto, working in full cooperation with 9 Tails, is able to neutralize all of them and release them from Tobi's influence. Like the 4 Tails, Tobi seals them back into the statue. Tobi remains confident that he will emerge victorious. With no other option, he tosses the Benihasago and the Kohaku no Johei into the Gedomazo mouth, which, in addition to the 8 Tails tentacle from the fake Killer Bee, completes the set of the 9 tail beasts, initiating the Juubi revival. While the demonic statue undergoes its regeneration into the 10 Tails, Tobi protects it from Naruto, Bee, Guy, and Kakashi. Despite their combined efforts, they are unable to get past Tobi. Tobi is even able to turn some of their attacks against them. After this late exchange, however, Kakashi noticed that Tobi's mask takes damage. Unable to attribute the damage to any of their attacks, Kakashi tests a theory. Naruto attacks Tobi with a Rasengan, and when it appears to pass through Tobi, Kakashi targets the Rasengan with Kamui. Tobi's arms is then damaged. Kakashi concludes that his Kamui and Tobi's ability share the same dimension, that attacks enter the dimension at the same moment Tobi has transported his body parts there for safety would do damage to Tobi. Now that they have a strategy to use against Tobi, Naruto, Bee, Guy, and Kakashi begin to coordinate their efforts. One of Naruto's shadow clones attacks Tobi, but the attack appears to fail and the clone disappears. The real Naruto attacks him immediately afterwards with a tail beast ball, which Tobi avoids by retreating to the other dimension. There he finds Naruto's shadow clone waiting for him, having been sent there by Kakashi's Kamui. Before he has a chance to react, he is hit in the face with a Rasengan, shattering his mask. His face revealed, Kakashi and Guy recognize him as their former teammate Obito Uchiha. Kakashi is devastated to learn that Obito is not only alive but is now one of the world's worst criminals. Before he can find out how Obito survived, the reincarnated Uchiha Madara arrives at Obito's side. Madara chides Obito for reviving Juubi prematurely and reviving him in the state he's in. Obito informs him of Nagato's betrayal before returning to him, his Kunbai, and directing him to Naruto and Bee. While Madara goes after them, Obito fights Kakashi. He ignores Kakashi's pleas for an explanation and nearly kills him, stopped only by Naruto. When Kakashi gets over his initial shock and starts to fight seriously, Obito sends him away with Kamui. This is part of Kakashi's plan, as through a combination of efforts, Naruto and Kyuubi nearly destroy the demonic statue, but the attack comes a moment too late, and from the smoke emerge the Ten Tails. Obito and Madara take positions atop the Ten Tails head and attach themselves to it so they can control its action. Because they no longer need Naruto or B, they direct Kyuubi to kill them. The combined allied shinobi forces arrive in time to stop the attack. The allies collaborate against the Ten Tails and succeed in restraining it, but the Ten Tails matures to its next form and releases itself. Though this was countered easily enough, they have the Ten Tails destroy the allied shinobi force headquarters to prevent future collaboration. Madara remarks that the battle is more difficult than it should be and blames Obito's deviations from the original plan, namely not bringing Madara back to life in the correct way. Obito replies that he never trusts Madara would keep his word and that he now follows his own version of the Eye of the Moon plan. Obito uses the beast as a medium to fire off several wooden projectiles into the assembled alliance. Many die, including Neji, which Obito used to try and encourage the alliance and specifically Naruto of the futility of the resistance. Naruto and the allies refuse to be broken by the shared loss and instead unite for yet another attack, successfully separating the Ten Tails from Madara and Obito's control. Madara and Obito join forces against the shinobi arm but now have their unrestrained Ten Tails to contend with. Badly injured, Obito teleports to the top of the Ten Tails. Madara senses his return and his weakened state and exerts his control over Obito to try and force him to perform the Samsara and bring him back to life. Before the technique can be complete, the allies try to eliminate Obito, including a reincarnated Minato who is able to teleport to Obito's location using the same flying turn to God Seal that he branded Obito years before. Minato and Obito only recognize each other after Obito has been cut down. Madara admits defeat, but not because Obito is dead. Obito, already beyond Madara's influence, was sealing the Ten Tails into his body, a process he completed in time. Now the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, Obito begins attacking the other reincarnated Hokage, using his new abilities to overpower them and all others with ease. Attacks do not affect him, and his true sinking balls overcome every defense that is placed against him. The allies' only advantage is Obito's lack of control. The Ten Tails power physically distorts his body, and some inner struggle deprives of any distraction or precision in his actions. Deep within his mind, Obito fights to rein in the Kyuubi and keep him from tearing him apart. By focusing on a picture of his old team, he is able to overcome it. He hones the Ten Tails, composes himself, and begins a methodical attack against the allied shinobi, nullifying every jutsu they use against him. In a blind gamble, Gamakishi uses an attack against Obito, which is the first attack to not be completely nullified. Naruto realized that, despite all Obito's new powers, he remains vulnerable to Senjutsu. With the moon nearing the optimal position to perform the Infinite Tsukuyomi, Obito begins making final preparations. He traps the alliance in a barrier and creates a giant tree with 4 flowers, each flower charging a tail beast ball. The balls are fired at the shinobi forces, but Naruto and Minato teleport everyone to safety. After repelling 2 Senjutsu's full counterattack, Obito summons the tree form of the Ten Tails and has it absorb the chakra of nearby ninja, taking the chakra and killing them all. Obito used this rising death toll to shatter the determination of the shinobi alliance, offering them mercy if they stop fighting and allow themselves to enter the Infinite Dream. Naruto is nearly shattered, but is galvanized by Sasuke's refusal to surrender, and he rallies the shinobi forces. Naruto and Sasuke join forces, combining their own Senjutsu's abilities against him to an increasingly great effect. Obito becomes frustrated with the continual attacks and Naruto's denial of his way of thinking. Obito forms the Sword of Nobuko, intending to use it to strike all of them down for good. Naruto and Sasuke realize they will only have a small window to defeat Obito, so they enlist the aid of their classmates from Konoha to help them with a combined attack against Obito. They successfully overwhelm Obito, and he begins to lose control for the Ten Tails chakra, giving the alliance a chance to pull it from his body. During this time, Naruto enters Obito's consciousness through the linked chakras and begins to reason with him. Though he tries to resist the pull of both Naruto's word and the Shinobi Alliance grip on his chakra, the chakra of the Nine-Tailed Beast is removed from him and he falls to the ground. His powers and transformation gone and his battles lost. As Obito lies helpless, Kakashi finally returns from Kamui's dimension with the resolve to kill him. Minato stops him and explains since it is no longer necessary, as Obito's defeat by Naruto has finally shown him that he was wrong all the time, and that deep down he was living a life fighting for the Infinity Tsukuyomi. As the Alliance begins shifting their attention to Madara, who is fighting elsewhere, Obito decides to use Samsara to revive everyone he killed as atonement for his sins. As he's performing the technique, Black Jetsu emerges from underground and forces him to change targets, reviving Madara instead. Black Jetsu tries to take their Rinnegan Obito is using also, but realizes will not be able to get away from Kakashi and Minato. Obito explains to them what he has been forced to do and pleads with them to destroy his Rinnegan at any cost. While he struggles against Black Jetsu control, the Gedomazo is summoned from Obito's body, sapping with little energy he has left and enabling Black Jetsu to overpower him. Obito later managed to reassert control of his body just before Black Jetsu can transfer the Rinnegan to the Nine Tails Zenhaft to Madara, that had already regained the Rinnegan Obito hideaway and become the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Madara tries to convince Obito of the error he's making and lets his guard down while gives Obito another chance. Obito opts instead to stab Madara, and in the process steal fragments of the One Tail and Eight Tails chakra, embracing his identity as Uchiha Obito for the first time in years. Because Obito has all the pieces that Madara still needs for his plans, his escape becomes paramount. Kakashi uses Kamui on him while he's also using on himself, allowing him to flee to another dimension before Madara can stop him. In the other dimension, Obito finds Sakura and Naruto, the former performing an emergency life support on the latter because of the removal of the Nine Tails young half from his body. She allows him to seal the Nine Tails in half and the other tail beast chakras he has into Naruto, since it's the only chance of saving him. He then asks Sakura to destroy his Rinnegan. Before she can go through with it, Madara arrives, having stolen Kakashi's Sharingan so that he could confront Obito. Obito teleports Sakura away so that Madara couldn't kill her. Because Obito is out of options, Madara gets one last thing off his chest. He planned Rin's death all those years ago in order to gain Obito's cooperation. With that said, Black Jetsu takes control of Obito's body. Obito awakens later to find circumstances greatly changed. The Rinnegan is gone, replaced by his original left eye. Black Jetsu is completely gone from his body. The Infinity Tsukuyomi has been cast and the world trapped into a dream. Madara is gone, replaced by Otsutsuki Kaguya. Only Naruto and Sasuke, with help from Kakashi and Sakura, remain to resist Kaguya. They are now all stuck in a network of Kaguya's dimension, lost within which somewhere is Sasuke. After taking all this in, Obito expresses his belief that he can use his Chuma Genko Sharingan to locate Sasuke. Naruto creates an opportunity for Obito and Sakura to infiltrate Kaguya's core dimension and then draw her away while they work. Through a process of trial and error, Obito searches Kaguya's dimensions with Kamui and eventually finds Sasuke. Obito returns Sasuke and Sakura to the dimension where Naruto and Kakashi are. He watches as Naruto and Sasuke fight Kaguya. They combine powers, the only ones capable of stopping her. Aware of this, Kaguya relocates them to a dimension with powerful gravity and pins Naruto and Sasuke down while she attacks with all-killing ash bones. Powered by a shared memory of their past friendship, place themselves in front of Naruto and Sasuke as shields. Because his odyssey began by saving Kakashi from death by a boulder, Obito decides he must now end things by saving Kakashi's life again. He uses his left eye to teleport the attack aim at Kakashi away, allowing the attack direct at him to connect. Obito's body begins to crumble and there is nothing anyone can do to save him. He warns Kakashi that he will not be around to save him a third time, and places his faith for a better word in Naruto before dying with a smile. Obito finds himself in the limbo between life and afterlife. There, he sees Rin waiting for him. Obito apologizes for taking so long to join her and also for many of the things he did while she's waiting for him. Rin assures him that it was okay because he tried his very hardest and that she was always watching him. Though he's eager to start spending time with her, he's worried that Kakashi might do something stupid like die and ruin things between them again. Therefore, he uses Kamui and has his spirit return to the living plane and inhabits Kakashi, imbuing him temporarily with powers of the Mangenkyo Sharingan. Kakashi uses them and the resulting Susanoo to provide backup for Naruto and Sasuke, giving them to opening they need to defeat Kaguya. With all scores settled, Obito apologizes to Kakashi one final time, everything, and the two parties fully reconcile with Obito now free to join Rin in the afterlife. Although Obito does not appear for the first time until the series' special chapter about his life as a child soldier, he makes a cameo appearance on the cover of the manga's 60th chapter in a picture with Kakashi. According to Kishimoto, one of the biggest mysteries in the series' first half was why Kakashi only possessed one Sharingan eye technique, unlike Sasuke and other members of the clan who possess a technique in both eyes. Kishimoto wrote Kakashi backstory to show him as a young ninja whom Obito gave his Sharingan when he was nearly killed in a fight. Kishimoto said by chapter 16 he had conceived a storyline about Obito being an Uchiha and how it would affect Kakashi. During the series' first half, Kishimoto introduced the Katsuki terrorist organization, who seemed far stronger than the younger main characters. This led Kishimoto to change the series, giving the story a time skip to when Naruto and his comrades would be able to face them. Kishimoto said that he based Akatsuki on a similar real-life organization. Obito in his Tobi persona was Kishimoto's favorite Akatsuki character to draw because of his simple mask. His nickname, Tobi, comes from Obito calling Guru Guru an onomatopoeia from turning around and round and going around circles. It can also mean wrapped around, referring to Tobi's function as an armor for Obito. With the manga reaching its climax, Kishimoto wanted to be careful with developing Obito's character, finding him as important as Naruto's and Sasuke's growth in the narrative. According to Kishimoto, Konan's death at the hands of the former superior Obito was a statement about the loss of the dream for peace that he, Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan share, and an indication of Naruto's rise as a bringer of light and hope. When the real Uchiha Madara appeared in the manga, Kishimoto refrained from stating Tobi's true identity, but said that both characters were related and he would be revealed in the few chapters. In the Japanese version, Obito is voiced by Wataru Tagaki, and his childhood self was voiced by Sosuke Komuri before Mogumi-han took over in the chapter 343. In the English version, Obito is voiced by Michael Yurchak, and his younger self is voiced by Vicky Minona. Nolan North does Obito Madara impersonation in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, and Todd Haberkan voices him in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. Every week I'm gonna bring another character in-depth review, so leave a suggestion below and watch these other two videos here. Yeah, this one, that's okay. Yeah, you can go this one, and that's fine. You go. Thank you.